Welcome back to Ferocious Education. This is Ed. Today we're talking about one thing, Roblox, and we're looking into metrics. We're talking about perhaps some of the fundamentals they might have showed us and technical analysis. So let's jump right into this one. So Roblox, it's been a while since I covered this one. I think I covered it a couple of days before their DPO, their direct public offering, and you'll find that video in the description below. Nonetheless, let's try to dive into a few things. First off, we're looking into their current estimates in terms of forecasts in terms of price. So if we were to look into the forecasts, current forecasts are at the high $85, in the median $72.50, and in the low $60. So we can see that analysts are looking at $60 for a low for this one. So that's quite of an interesting one. 85 seems to be high, and that's within the next 12 months based on two different analysts. Now currently it has one buy and one outperform, with current sales of around $561 million for the current quarter. And we're going to move on back towards news. But before then, I want to look into some of the quarter and yearly results. So total revenue from 2018 to 2020, we get to see that the revenue has tripled from 2018 to 2020, which is an amazing thing. We already know a lot of that. 2019 to 2020 has almost doubled the revenue. Well, what about the cost of revenue? The cost of revenue has increased as well into the same level. However, gross profit seems to be from 251 million to 683 million within 2018 to 2020, so still really bullish. Operating incomes and expenses. You see that the biggest part of this is the total operating expenses jumped up or hiked up, mainly to selling, general and administration costs and research development. Now we can see that they probably can become net positive if they were to lower their general administrative costs and for instance as well research and development, or mainly just selling general administrative costs. If they were to decrease that by somewhere, I would say half, they would easily be profitable. However, going down even further, net income is currently negative 253 million, which is one of the worst it's been. However, here in 2020, that used to be their original IPO year, so I'm not sure expenses related to that are in there or not. 2021, granted, that was their actual DPO year, and they changed a lot of things, so I'm wondering if that's some of the expenses relating to there. Nonetheless, you get to see that there is a trend from 2018 to 2019 where I went to positive and then dove back to negative in terms of net income. Well, I'm not saying, I'm talking about rate of change, not the actual net income, net loss. And you get to see that things deteriorated a little. They're making more than 3 times loss than they did in 2019. And I'm giving them the benefit of the doubt that this is regarding administrative costs ongoing public. And in terms of the balance sheet, let's take a look into this one. So in terms of this here, we're seeing the total current assets have multiplied, so that's a good thing. Now, in terms of total assets, you're looking from 542 million to 1.8 billion from 2018 to 2020. Total liabilities, however, that one has skyrocketed as well. You're looking from 655 million to 2 billion. So currently, they are net negative in terms of total asset to total debt. However, they did raise the DPO, so there might be excess cash there they can use towards fixing that liabilities. We're going to be looking into that into the next quarter once they release that news. So far, we don't have that information because Q1 2021 is not in yet. And some of the news here for Roblox usage. So this one here, I believe it's updated as frequently as I would like it to be, but it's updated, I believe, around monthly. So some of the things we want to look at is just a general trend. And we see the general trend going into 2020. From 2016 all the way to 2020, so you're getting currently around 170, 150 million active users. Granted, there was a spike around the pandemic where you're looking from February all the way to mid-June and going on. You're going on from 120 million to 170 million. So granted, there is a spike there, and that's something that they do recognize, but currently that's what they're averaging at. And in terms of institutional buyers, and I'm not sure whether this is actually accurate or not, but it doesn't seem that I have any 13Gs or any kind of institutional buyers 13Fs filings recently. So that's something as well interesting in my perspective. And we can take as well another look here is we're seeing that developers are very active, or Roblox is very active in terms of developer forums. So that's something that is actually amazing there. And another question here is how do they make money? Actually, in fact, I did cover that previously in my last video, so I do recommend that you watch that. I covered how they make money, how much they make per the user, how much do developers make in terms of the percentage split there, and as well how much money they have generated previously. Actually covered that as well today. So now we can move on towards technical analysis, but before doing so, if you like what you're seeing here and would like to see more of this content, make sure to subscribe, leave notifications on, and if you would like to join our Discord server, it's in the description below, and let's jump right into technical analysis. So now on technical analysis, and granted the market hasn't been really nice recently, so there might be a little bit of complications there towards the bearish side. However, keeping that in mind, I want to look into a 2-hour perspective. Granted, it's a little bit of a short term, but it can actually give us a little bit of perspective on the general market itself within the last month. So what we're seeing here is that the MACD seems to be going positive at this kind of level in the last trading day. However, it seems to be more of a tug of war in terms of an accumulation style. Granted, it did dip quite a little from 65.19 to 60.69 and then jumped right back to 67 bucks. And that could be mainly towards the movements in the market that we've been seeing. So far, I would say it is still holding the price point around mid 60s to low 70s. That is the range where I'm seeing it at. ADX currently shows that there is a possibility of a trend forming, and momentum looks positive. Currently, the willing percent R is somewhere in between neither bullish nor bearish. And something that is very important is to recognize where the current supports and resistances are. The current Fibonacci support sits at 64.98 and then below that 650. Current resistances on the Fibonacci scale is 67.68, 69.86, 72.04, 75.14, and 79.10. Now we can take a look into a 1 month, 2 hour, and start using a price line action. We currently see a significant support sitting at 67.31, a very strong one at 65.69, another strong one at 64.67, and then another strong one somewhere sitting down at 61.99. Current resistances, we see them as few. Currently 68.05. Above there, we're looking at 69.29. Above there, 70.96. Above there, 72.16. And then we're looking upwards to 74.06. And then 77.48. And then we're looking into 79.05. And it comes to the question to Ed, what do you think about this one? Do you think that this is going to be the next hype? And here's a lot of things, okay? There's some pumpers out there that want it to be the next Wall Street bet. But here's the thing, I think they're too occupied with GME. I don't like to put my eggs based on just a group of people wanting to pump it. I like to invest my stocks or at least have swings that are relevant in terms of fundamentals. Now, Roblox will probably do the following based on stocks such as Airbnb, etc., or recent IPOs. And I would say they're probably going to slide a little. They're going to probably hit the 65s, accumulate there as we're seeing right now. It's going to spend around a month accumulating, and then all of a sudden, with good news, because guess what? They haven't put much news since their IPO, or DPO, my bad. Once the news start coming, quarters, that is either break it or make it. And if they're positive, you're going to see this one skyrocket back to 80s. At least that's where I see it. But again, this is very much of a speculative play at this level. I do like Roblox and what they're doing, especially with giving a lot of power to the developers. And I think that this one might be here to stay, especially with educational Roblox games, etc., and the capabilities and what they're able to do with it. So what do you think about this one? Make sure to mention down in the comments below. Share, subscribe, and like. Have a wonderful day.